ago, somebody told me about this Palyam guy. And he wouldn't give me the clay only. Then I told him I'm a potter. So then once he got to know that I was a potter, he took out some special clay, very refined and very nice. He said, okay, I'll give you a little bit of this.
ಪಳಗಿ ನಡಂದ ಕೆಲ ಕೆಲ ಪಳಗಿ ನಡಂದ ಕೆಲ ಕೆಲ ಲಾಲೆ 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 ಲಾಲೆ.
Yeah, so when I met her, I was actually, I had come to India and I was teaching in a school. And I'm not a potter, I'm a sculptor. I've been working with clay all my life, but anything to do with the wheel or the kiln or glazes and all, I had no idea about. And there was a whole studio that I was in charge of with all ages of kids, and I just really needed someone to come and basically head the studio, because it was a pottery studio with all the equipment. And she landed from the sky somehow, like one of those coincidences in life. We just she happened to be in the right place at the right time, and she came originally to teach me pottery so that I could teach the students. So the plan was that she would stay for 3 months and I would learn the skills and then she would go away. But then 2-3 years later, we were both teaching together. And
yeah, it was a beautiful school and so many children, all ages. I had never taught so much in my life. I realized that it's important that we pass on what we have learned, and I guess we made a good team. It was fun. It was good to teach together, and I wanted to open Mati before I met Glory. But sometimes it just takes that much longer in life because somebody else has to be a big part of it. So when we became friends and we started talking about what we would like to do in the coming years and whatever we have gained in the years behind us, we realized that very similar vision of life. Yeah, a lot goes into making a pot. Like making the pot is just cherry on the top, but actually we start much before that. And procuring our clay is quite important, the right kind of clay. We keep testing different clays. We use clay from local over here from Mandrin, and we mix it with a clay which comes from the north to give us the right consistency for working. The clay that I'm using, this one is from Gujarat, and we have something just on the border from Karnataka. Various kinds of clay, various colors of clay. So we have to refine it before we start working with it. It has to be like, no particles in it, super soft. And then we do something like what I'm doing now. It's called kneading. A little different from how we do for our chapatis. There's a particular technique to it. Then we came back here. Oh wow, it's too much organic matter in this one. Mostly rocks.
Even from this, you can filter out. From
Like unless we dig a little deeper, we won't really find mud.
even from this, you can filter out the sand particles and the clay particles. If you put a little bit of mud in a bottle, shake it, and let it settle for a couple of days. Then the smaller particles go to the base, and the bigger particles stay at the top, and they separate like that. There is clay. See this bit. This bit. But mostly it's too much effort when it's like this.
We'll get very less clay from it.
Yeah, then you have to filter the smaller particles, and that is clay. But sometimes you find it in bigger concentration. You can just pick it up, do the coil and bend it, and it happens. Then it's worth it. And you can filter that. But this is too sandy. Started thinking seriously about making a home in mud, with these traditional materials. And we started researching, and more and more, the more we talked about it, the more it seemed achievable actually. Because we're not architects, we don't have experience in like grand structures like this. But this is it's just a big sculpture, and we started seeing it like that.
Just like what we wanted for ourselves, that where we sit and create should not be just a shed. This is a shed, but it's made with much more than just materials. We ourselves got into the process of building it with the construction team, and I think this was one of it almost changed my, I was thinking maybe I'll do more pottery, but I feel like I will do more natural building. And then we slowly want to get into a little more planting and growing, because for both of us coming from cities, yet Rory is from Costa Rica, I am from Uttarakhand. We are now in Goa.
ഒട്ടകല കുട്ടികൾ അങ്ങനെ അച്ഛനക്കറിയാതെ അമ്മൾക്കറിയാതെ അവരിങ്ങനെ കാതലത്ത് പാടിച്ചുകളെ അങ്ങനെ നടത്തിയ ഒരു പാട്ടാണ്. അടിപൊളി പാട്ടാണ്. അവരുടെ മനസ്സിൽ പറ്റി പാടുന്നതാണ് ആ പാട്ട്. അവരുടെ പാട്ടാണത്.
But this clay is some places it's very like pinkish, whitish pinkish almost, like as if something else got mixed into it or it changed over time. Sometimes near our house also there are these people who make Ganeshas, Ganesh for the Ganesh Chaturthi, and there are like 3-4 people near our house. So they collect when they find, and they bring it and they keep it near their house. So if we can't find it, we go and take from them. Sometimes maybe we can go to one of these sites from where we request them, and then they give us some clay also. Yeah, that would be nice, no? And season is also coming. They must be making also.
Yeah.
Lots of Ganesh today. Shall we go? Yeah, clay is, naturally occurring, and it's a gift from nature. Just the same mud that we walk upon, when it's near a water body, its consistency totally changes over the years, and then it becomes very like stretchy. Anything we mold it into anything. That's the difference between clay and mud. So let's make a pot. This is a traditional kick wheel. I learnt on this. There were no electric wheels in our country, not so common. So when I learnt on this wheel, and that's why we have one for mostly nostalgic reasons. Kick it like this and gives you the speed.
It started 3 years ago, but I remember as a kid always being covered in mud and hiding my muddy clothes and getting home. So it started way before that, and now finally I am actually making things out of this mud.
My grandparents had a farm, a dairy farm, and it was very much kind of in the wild. And still, every time I go there, it's like finding my roots again, and the kind of feeling that is there when my feet are on the ground. I almost lost when I was. I spent most of my adult life actually in the UK, and it's a very different life over there, very different climate, and very much when civilization takes over.
This is the lip portion. This is the eyebrow. Okay. This between instead if the ears coming. You got it?
Yeah.
Or I mean?
Yes, between the ear and the lip.
Okay.
Between the eyebrow and the lip.
So the ears not going that side. It's coming
out.
left. Yeah, coming out.
I found myself being in Arambol, which was a very colorful, creative place. No other place like that in the country. Very international, yet you're still in the country, and it felt like the right balance to be exposed to the rest of the world, yet be here in my own land. It somehow, I always felt like I wanted to be. Many a times in these years, I was invited to various countries to move also but I don't know, I don't feel like leaving India.
We were looking inland also, near the beach also. It was very difficult to find affordable place because this area has become very commercial and prices have, after COVID, have shot up. So this place was, the building had started, the landlords had began to construct and had kind of run out of resources from COVID and all that. So the half-built structure was kind of exposed to the elements and left.
As much as we would like to keep it all natural, we also understand why humans came to the evolution and came to concrete. I have a newfound respect for concrete.
Makes life easy.
But much has been lost in these times. So these buildings from before are quite strong. We have to just go back and understand, and that is taking some time. Getting to the right people who will educate us, so we can then practically implement it. Materials are also not the same quality-wise. So getting to the right material, we have to go through a lot of wrong ones first.
Just a second.
Nice.
So this one's gonna be
The new pop it up, yeah. You've been able to take.
Yeah, I usually wanted to do like a, the light comes out of the holes, but decided
But you're
against it.
talking about it's better to do it with a whole punching.
Ah.
Because it's if you're going to do it like this, do it from both sides, a little bit at a time. I know it's a challenge to do it from inside over here. You want to be able to do it close to the edge.
Okay.
But if you do it a little bit at a time from both sides, then you don't.
We chose to do the beginner course at Marty, and how I know them is they actually taught at my school, and one of my close friends who's learned pottery from them had suggested that I come here for a couple of days because I was very keen on learning pottery. And I've come with a friend of mine who's my roommate at this moment. So both of us been wanting to learn pottery for over a year now, but we just never found the right place. And this was a good break from both of us stay in Bangalore, so it was a good getaway to get away from the city, screen time.
Different from how it was when I moved here, and certain things are just totally lost. It's not the same colorful, creative place that I had come to, and it's becoming quite commercial now. A lot of construction. There is still a lot of nature. Of course, when you come from a city, you feel it. But for me, I've been here and I just feel like everywhere there is only development, and it's not going in the direction you would want a beautiful space to go in. There is no thought to it, I feel. So I was quite dissuaded actually to make Mati here at that time. But there was just one single thought that kept coming to my mind that well, if I do want to make a difference and actually want to open the space, one, there has to be a lot of people, and I saw that the whole of India is coming to Goa now, and not everybody is the same. So many of us want beautiful spaces and more close to earth. And then I decided that I will stay back here rather than move maybe, like a hermit somewhere, and open it right in the thick of it, in the middle of all the concrete buildings that are coming around us. We have 3 big projects coming right across from the street.
Yeah, I've been coming just to practice, and it's always so much fun coming to Mati. Until one day Gloria and Aparna asked me to join the team, and I didn't have to think twice. It's not like work over here, it's just fun to be here. And it's the most integral part of my day, coming here every day.
I am inclined artistically, but I find it very difficult to do like things with my hand. But that way, I think the teachers here have been great. It's very helpful. They guide you every step of the way, but you also have the freedom to kind of explore the things you want to do. So I don't think you have to have past experiences to be able to learn pottery per se. It's about how fast you learn it or how slow you learn it as well. You can go at your own pace.
The courses here are very tailor-made. We don't have we don't go by batches, and we don't have like a set curriculum. So it's a few of the sessions we give are for absolute beginners. So there is one session on the wheel, which is there's like full demo involved and everything is handheld, so that you get your basics. And there are 3 separate sessions in hand building, which are like that also. One is the pinching technique, which is how this is made. Okay, and it's literally pinching. It's the most primitive form of pottery. This is something which is there in every culture's archaeological sites. Okay? And like early man, whatever the first vessels were always pinch pots. And that's why they look so organic, and there's a very beautiful appeal to them, that it's absolutely not mediated by machine, because although the wheel is quite a primitive machine, it's still a machine, and it's still you can feel it, you can feel the mediation there of an artifact, whereas here is just the artist's hand. And it's very intuitive, everybody can do it in the first go. A few little things happen here and there that can create a bit of trouble, but that whole first introductory session is like how to troubleshoot those things and just become free with that technique. So a lot of very intricate things can be done with this basic technique, and also very like large scale also. It can be very you can go very far with it. Then the second introductory session is slab construction, which is what they're doing. So this is about rolling out a flat bit of clay and cutting it into shapes and constructing a 3D object out of it. Okay, so very different techniques and very different outcomes also. This one is more clinical, more like how an architect would construct a model. There's some precision involved. A lot of people get very excited about taking measurements and being a little bit more clinical about their construction. Okay? And it has a scope for sculptural work on it. It's not like it has to be very straight lines and everything. These guys, their aesthetic is like that, but you can also alter it and become a little organic with it.
We get a very nice, let's say, sharing at the end, or sometimes even after they have left. That if they took something from us, even a pot or something, and they're using it in their daily lives as a ritual or something, it reminds them of this place, not just of us, but also of the place, of the experience. And it changes their attitude towards what it takes to make something with the hands versus something that comes from a machine. They always say that after making this small piece, I understand I'm never going to bargain with the people who make, oil lamps or their matkas for water. They say like no more bargaining. It is so much hard work and it's given for such a cheap price. So we really, I feel that really touches me every time, that we are extending something to a person who has no connection with art or crafts, hands-on, being able to see our world and what it takes to do these things, and then they appreciating that.
आणि हांव मया हांगा रावता आणि हांगासर एक कुंभारवाडा म्हणून आसा, तितून आमचे पॉटरीचे काम चालू आसता. आणि पयलीं हे खूब चालू आसलेलें काम, आतां हळू कमी जायत येयला सगळें. आणि म्हाजो पयलीं ग्रँडफादर करतालो काम, सो मागीर म्हाज्या फादरान ते कंटिन्यू करूंक ना. मागीर हांवें कंटिन्यू केलें आनी भितर मॉडिफिकेशन केलें पॉटरीन, की न्यू पॉटरी करपाक तितून. आतां ही माती आमची बिचोली हांगासर मेळटा, बिचोली माजरा ही मातशी सगळ्याक मेळना, की एक सिलेक्टीव जागा आसता ताका, तीच जाग्याची घेवन येवप आसता. ती माती हाडल्या उपरांत मातशी ती सुकोवप आनी सुकयल्या उपरांत मागीर ताका फिल्टर करप आनी ती चाळून घेवप ताका आनी मेल्ट माती करून ताका फिल्टर करप. ती फिल्टर केल्या उपरांत एक 8-15 दिसां उपरांत ती सुकता. सुकल्या उपरांत मागीर ती यूज करूंक शकता. मागीर तेच्या उपरांत आमी ती लीट करता आनी तेच्या पासून ताका आर्ट करपाक सुरवात करता, किंवा पॉटरी आसा ती सगळी. आनी पॉटरी केल्या उपरांत ती आमी मातशी सुकली एक 8 दीस, तर मागीर ताका बेक करप. बेक केल्या उपरांत मागीर आमी तितून कितें उदक किंवा आनी कितें पिवपाक शकता.
Like this kind of pot, like
If you make this by hammering like this, it becomes strong. There is no strongness in this.
Yeah.
It's directly on the wheel. This is normal rate. We tell 180, then we give for 150.
Is it people bargain you when you get this?
Yeah, bargaining. Can't get.
Oh, that's
So making a pot, it might look like magic or like nothing is happening, but it actually involves a lot of focus. And many a times people come and they come in various mood, but when they come here and they get to do an activity which is fully involving, which needs your focus, yet it's in a way very therapeutic also, because you are touching something that you are made of. They always comment that they left more calm. Walking on a mud floor over here, touching the earth with their hands for 2 hours, just as a family or some friends, as a person just by themselves, it gives them a completely change from what they are generally accustomed to in their lives. Leaving the gadget totally on the side because you can't really touch a phone with this.
I think nowadays people actually have been giving more importance to traditional materials and art forms. Even though it's very easy to get caught up with our digital world, I think the more digital that's coming in, people have found newfound respect for traditional art forms, and they want to consciously still learn and be involved with it. So I think it comes down to a personal choice. I think most artists in some form or the other still prefer pen and paper and actually getting their hands moving. But I think that will never get lost, especially in the creative field.
Convince whatever people just by action that they can come and experience the space and come and connect, touch the clay in a small way, or do a short course like 2-hour session, whatever they can spare, 1 week, 1 day, 1 month, or if they want to just live here, they don't want to go back. You have lunch and then I mean you need to finish this for sure.
Yeah, I will finish this. Yeah. I think we're mainly just looking for trending
If you just choose and then
You have a drink? Because I was saying that if they don't want to, like,
on the wheel is quite a task.
because they will, like, something will break, I feel.
See that fat cat, like one piece I've taken out which can be true, another anyway is very off. Those have to be hand. So once they choose what they want to try to hold it, I can also just show them. Healthy cat. Building this together and having her input, having her supporting me throughout the process, and we building a team together. So it's not like we pay like it's a bag this big over here, and we pay like maybe 300-400 rupees for that. Then we filter, and only a part of it is clay. Most of it is like stones, rocks from it. So over here it's difficult to tell how much clay comes out. It's very sticky.
This is a little drier, and you can see some bits have a little bit more iron contact. This is iron oxide, the red stuff. Okay. There's a mix.
That's the local stones, laterite, broken.
From there it comes the...
It's so sticky that it's difficult to get it off.
So different consistencies. That is softer, and this is...
So this will not happen with mud. Mud will start crumbling. This is so sticky.
This you can model easily. So this stuff, if you filter it, then all these bigger particles which are creating the cracks will go away, and you get left with the clay. And maintains its shape very well. The ideal consistency is somewhere between the two, I guess.
Yeah.
If I just mix it together, then...
It's very exciting when we actually find clay somewhere and it starts behaving like this. Yeah. So sometimes when I was saying roads are getting dug, like they dig so much because they have to like extend the road or whatever. Then near the water table there is clay. So for them it's just mud. All of it is same. But for us it's like gold. So we are like, oh god, that looks like clay.
Now we're talking. Coil test. If it bends, it's clay.
So like this is very different. This has more sand, or the rocks have become disintegrated. This is not clay, it's crumbly. You can see also the difference between the two.
If you try to make a coil with this, it'll fall apart like that. It doesn't.
It cracks very easily.
It doesn't go.
Yeah. So that's the difference between just any soil or mud or clay.
There is some clay content in it.
Yeah, mixed from the
Yeah.
neighborhood side. Yeah, nothing like drinking water out of a mud pot. You know, smells nice. Just a handle and it's done. No, it's not done. It's a very long process after this till it becomes a final product. Might break at any stage, very fragile and goes through high degrees of temperature. So, a long process. The journey starts, I guess, now of the pot.
Who's Mansi?
Mansi is our lifeline. That's Mansi. She does cooks for us and she's been with me for such a long time. Okay, I'll just place the order.
Yeah.
Mansi, एक थोड़ी सी कॉफी और बना दो शायद के लिए, हाफ कप.
ठीक है दीदी, लेके आती हूँ.
Yeah, she keeps us going.